What about religion?
I think every religion is man-made construct trying to define and understand God. And if you limit yourself to another person's perspective as to who God is or what God is, then you may limit yourself to the experiences that he has or that God has for you. So I read a lot of text. I gain a lot of wisdom through them. But yeah, you know, whether you look at the Catholic Church and the history of it and indulgences and how they were charging people entry fees to go to heaven, which is absolutely fucked, you begin to question the entire system. And you just have to, once again, look at intention. And then secondly, ask yourself, do I need a middleman? Do I need another person in order to have a relationship with God? The answer is, in my opinion, no. But you have to develop it. So if another person was able to receive divine inspiration, right, or divine guidance or enlightenment, are they any special? If you think they're more special than you, then there you go. That's your answer. But if you think that you have the ability to have that same inspiration or that same divine intervention, then you can have it.
Life is a mad journey. I always say it's a beautiful mess. It's just trying to find the balance of trying to find your true purpose and being at your true source, because it just, do you feel as if we can question it too much though and look into it too much without just enjoying the beauty of it?
I think is, you know, Seneca famously said, we often, you know, suffer more in imagination than we do in reality.
Yeah, the brain's a powerful tool.
So the brain is there to keep you alive, you know, and once you're alive and thriving, it wants to create more problems.
What's your daily routine like?
Dude, I've been traveling every single day. My routine is very simple. I wake up, I do my stretching, non-negotiable, 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of sunlight, and then straight to work.
What do you think of the sun?
The sun? Thank God for the sun, bro. I look pretty good tan, huh?
Yeah, it's the main energy source.
That's the Italian sun, bro. I think I'm gonna get a place in Europe. I just got back from Italy, and I was in the US, and bro, everything's just so dead. Everything is created for profit. Like everything is designed for profit. Like everything, even how things are built to be cheaper at cost, and every interaction is a transactional interaction. That's the system. You go to Italy, people don't give a fuck. You know, everything's chill. People make things that are inconvenient. They'll carve fucking random ass staircases on the side of the mountain for no fucking reason, just to have a little church on the hill. Like, you know, it's not convenient, but that's dope. Human potential, creativity. So these are the things I go there. I'm inspired. I'm like, there's a reason why the kings of old lived in Greece and in Italy and in Rome. Why were they there? I'm gonna go there. I'm a king. Why not? People are gonna be like in the comments, fuck this motherfucker, he thinks he's a king. I'm gonna see you in Italy.
Everybody's a fucking king. Have you ever looked into sun gazing?
Yeah, I've looked into it. It helps with melatonin production. Helps with is it melatonin production? I think it helps with melatonin production. Helps you set your circadian rhythms for the next day.
What about fasting?
Fasting, pretty much run intermittent fast every single day. Probably a full 24-hour fast once a month.
Just to cleanse?
Just to cleanse, yeah. 100%. Intermittent fasting is incredible.
For people watching, what should they do for a parasite cleanse?
I'm not a professional in parasite cleanse, but there's definitely a lot of people that you should not be listening to. You need to go to somebody who's an ultra specialist. Why? Because if you don't kill all the parasites, they begin to breed. So they begin to lay eggs inside of you because it's their survival mechanism. So if you don't cleanse it properly, you're going to have more parasites afterwards. So it's like you either do it right or you don't do it at all.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the crypto stuff for people who's maybe interested in it. Yeah. Because you've obviously got a bit of knowledge with it. You've made a good bit of money from it. What can people do to then try and educate themselves a bit more before they take a risk?
First, it's not a risk. It's understanding that it's an alternative money system. So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a decentralized ledger with X amount of individual units. These units hold a market value. You buy them if you want it to assume that it's going to go up, and you sell it if you think it's going to go down. The question is, why is it valuable? Why do people value it? Scarcity, transparency, sovereignty. You know how much supply exists. You know who holds it, and you know how the system works. There's no shadiness. So if for somebody that wants transparency and clarity, it exists there. it's also understanding that when you put money into the bank, you're not saving money. The idea of a deposit is not a deposit. Why is it that the bank gives you an interest on the money that you deposit? Because you're not inserting a deposit. They're giving you a loan. Once they give you that return, I don't know what return they have here in the UK, maybe 0.1%, maybe 0.2%.
0.2, I think, yeah.
Some garbage like that. Now, your balance becomes what? A liability. It's not an asset. It's a liability. They take your money and they invest it. That's how the system works. So what you've done is you've fallen for that system of assuming that somebody else has your best interest in mind. They've produced a service, which is the ability to remit payments. But up until now, there was no competitor to it. We have an entire competing ecosystem known as DeFi, decentralized finance, where people from all over the world can transact very effectively and very easily. One example is Telegram. Are you familiar with the Telegram application? So on top of Telegram, an entire blockchain was built known as the Open Network. So for example, if I have your Telegram username right now, you set up a wallet on Telegram through TON, and I can send you USDT to your Telegram username. I could send you $1 million to your Telegram username right now. I don't have to ask anybody. I just, no permission, no signature, nothing. Is that better than the bank?
Of course.
So it's alternative systems. That is crypto. Don't look at the asset class. Look at the technology. Look at the ecosystem. Look at the infrastructure. Pay attention to the developing environment. It's like knowing that cars were about to be a thing and being like, okay, maybe I'm not going to invest in Ford, or maybe I'm not going to buy a car year one, but let me pay attention to it because maybe the industry of horses is about to fucking get shit on. So if you have a competing ecosystem that is better, that's taking over, if you have a competing ecosystem that's taking over, like crypto, you have to look at why is it taking over? And it's taking over because it's a better alternative. Now you just have the old powers being like, it's shit, fuck crypto, fuck Bitcoin, because their jobs are at risk. It's not because they want to protect you. So if their jobs are at risk, they're going to fight for what? Their jobs. I get it. It's a competing system. So don't look at the asset class. Don't worry about the individual units, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, TON. Don't worry about these things. Look at the technology. Look at the ecosystem and ask yourself, which one do you think is going to win? Which one would you use as an individual? Would you want me to go to the bank and sign and then have to do a phone call verification? No. I want to interact with you quickly, transparently, securely. Crypto offers that. So it's an alternative payment system. It's an alternative ecosystem to the traditional one, and it's increasingly becoming more popular. It goes back to what I mentioned about coinage when we started. It's the evolution of coinage. It's the evolution of money. So the question is, why is it that the US dollar became the most valuable paper? There's an entire history behind that. Do you think it was competing against nobody? It was competing against the British pound. It was competing against multiple currencies at its time. Absolutely. But it reigned supreme. Why? Because it was the better system. Or at least a system that everybody agreed to or were forced to adopt because of the petrodollar. So now we have an alternative system that's emerging. And I think the alternative system has a real chance at winning because it's pure. It's authentic. We're talking about authenticity wins. It's not the system of lies because people are waking up.
Do you think it'll be a cashless society within the next few years?
We're already cashless.
I don't even carry cash anymore.
We're cashless already. This idea of central bank digital currencies are a fucking hoax. We already are in central bank digital currency. They can shut down your application at any moment.
Do you think that?
Go fucking try and pull $20,000 cash, dude. It's like you're stealing.
Yeah, I can't lift more than
insane,
5,000
bro.
out the bank without the questions and phone.
It's like they think you're stealing. They think you're about to do something crazy.
What do you think of the City of London?
The City of London is very interesting. When you begin to look at the history of the City of London, there's 3 major cities. I won't go into details for, but I'll say this for the clip. There's 3 cities that you need to study how they operate and how they transact with each other and with the world. There's 3 independent nation states: Washington, D.C., the City of London, and the Vatican. The political arm, the financial arm, and the religious arm of the world. That's all I'm going to say. Look into those 3 things, do some rabbit trailing, and I'll stop there.
For anybody watching, what sort of books would you recommend for them to try and give them a better understanding of life, knowledge, and hopefully give them a kick, to give them a kind of kickstart to then see the world a bit differently, to make better changes?
Yeah, let's talk about 3 books. The first one, and I'll mention different books in different podcasts. The first one is The Lords of Easy Money, understanding how the money supply works. It's a little bit of a comprehensive read, but by the end of it, you're going to be so pissed. You're going to start making money because you're going to understand how it works. The second one is The Millionaire Mastermind. The Millionaire Master Plan. It's understanding what is your wealth profile. What is a wealth profile? Different people make money in different ways. Cristiano Ronaldo made his money completely differently than Madonna, right? Or completely differently than Elon Musk. Each of them have a wealth profile. They've attributed and been able to build wealth in their own avenue. So what you need to do is identify what is your wealth profile. People are looking at stock traders or at investors. They're like, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, but it's complicated. Well, maybe it's not your wealth profile. Maybe you're trying to get rich at the wrong thing. Maybe you're trying to build wealth in the wrong area because it's not your expertise. So The Millionaire Master Plan, great book to kind of understand your wealth profile. And finally, the one I always recommend to people, inside of the Bible, there's a book known as Proverbs. It's 31 chapters. You can read one chapter every single day. It takes you about 5 minutes. Transcendental, unchanging, forever wisdom that can be applied to anybody, regardless of religion, race, age, or gender. The best book in the world.
What about for anybody that's struggling with depression? What advice would you have for them?
Go to the gym. Go to the gym. Begin stimulating your body. Vibrational frequencies are real. The music that you listen to will impact your mindset. The people you hang out with will impact your mindset. Whether you exercise or not will impact your mindset. Focus on the things you can control. And if there's variables outside of your control, a lot of things resort to whether you commit self-sabotage or not. And a lot of people that happen to be in a low state, right? We call it a downward spiral because people continue going down and down and down. With the downward spiral, what you need to identify is what's causing it. And a lot of it, you come to realize it's within your control. The food that you eat, the music you listen to, and the things that you can change will instigate what? A reversal to what? An upward cycle, a positive momentum. So what your goal to do is to shift from negative emotion to positive emotion. If you need a professional for it, I completely understand, but there's definitely things that one can work on a regular basis.
Why do you think that is for human beings, that they go down a spiral and they don't really get out? They just keep going worse and worse and worse.
Once again, knowledge. They just don't know. If you don't, you can't solve the problems in your life with the same information that gave you the problems in the first place. You need new information. That's why the Bible says, when I became a man, I put away childish things. So if you want to become a man, if you want to evolve, you can't do the same things that you used to do. If you want to change your life, you can't think the same things that put you in that shitty situation in the first place. You need a renewed mind. That's why the Bible also says, be transformed, right? Change yourself. Not through action. It says, be transformed by what? The renewal of your mind. So through the renewal of your mind, you achieve transformation.
Where do you go forward for the future? What's your plans?
What are my plans? Lunch?
You think that far ahead? Is because I know you were at the Argentina game.
Yeah, it was last minute. I gambled on it before Argentina made it to the fan. 4 tickets, 10 grand. Worth the experience.
So you bought tickets for the final before they got to the final?
Yeah, absolutely. I had to test my luck.
Maybe you are in tune with your frequency, brother. Yeah. Maybe you can see the future. Yeah, it's a shame Messi got off injured, but unbelievable career, unbelievable player. How does men like that stay at the top of their game for so long, and at that age and still competing at that level, where they're same as Ronaldo and stuff like that? It's just, people say it's a freak of nature, but it's not. What do you think that main ingredient is for them to be there? Even though you look at guys like Tom Cruise, a totally different trade, but he's at the top of his game. He's still having blockbuster films. He still looks as if he's having fun. What do you think that is for these men?
Consistency.
Do you think that's what it is? Just straightforward, is that?
Consistency, bro. They're the best at always showing up.
That's all you fucking can do, innit? How are you feeling today, bro?
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, listen, it was great to have you on. Would you like to finish up on anything else, brother? What's your social links and stuff for people to get involved, ask
Luke
questions?
Belmar. Yeah, Luke Belmar across all socials. And
What's your
just,
website?
LukeBelmar.com. We still got to work on it. Let's get that
Get
done.
it sorted, lads. Like I say, brother, I wish you nothing but the best
Thank you,
in future.
T.
I'll get you on for a part 2, take it on another journey. But like I say, keep smashing it, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing great work.
Hashtag undeniable in the comment section if you want to become an undeniable individual, that when somebody sees you, they say, this person's the real deal.
God bless you, brother.
Thanks, G.